All right. Okay. I'm just recording. Greetings once again. Yeah, last time I had introduced this section of syndicated and joint readership surveys. Okay. Some readership surveys need large samples and cost a lot of money. Okay, so it makes sense for a number of publishers to combine forces and share the cost of one survey. Like I told you last time when I was concluding that it's expensive, yeah, for individuals or individual companies, yeah, to come out and do these surveys. Yeah, so what they do, at times some of them join forces, or publishers combine forces and share the cost of carrying out one survey. So you can have a survey tackling readers of Monitor, New Vision, and Bouquet Day all together. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Yeah, so it does no harm. Yeah, so adding extra publications to a survey adds little to the cost. While doing a survey for only one publication can bias the respondents and tend to produce overestimates of readership. So it makes more sense. Yeah, or it comes out well if you're having a survey in which more than one publication is asked about. Okay, so that's one of the reasons as to why these publishers at times join forces to carry out these surveys. So in that line, we can talk more about the syndicated and joint industry survey. At the start, I remember I asked you to go and read more about syndicated research or syndicated audience research. Yeah, but in regards to this is the type where one company funds the survey and charges publishers a fee to subscribe. I will use Napoleon's Research and Consultants. Okay, so a consultants firm can come, or a company of that kind can decide to carry out research about readership of, let's say, newspapers in Uganda. Altogether, and after it will charge a certain subscription to those publishers who would wish to use or to benefit from the survey. Okay, I carry out my survey maybe under my company, and then I include all, and then after, because remember this information is vital for the organization. Yeah, it's vital. They need that information to get an understanding of their readers, their preferences, their characteristics, what motivates them to read a particular newspaper, and so on and so forth. So if you carry out a survey and after you ask those who are to use the information to pay certain subscription, it does no harm. Yeah, and that falls under syndicated survey. Okay, that falls under syndicated survey. Yeah, but on the other hand, the publishers can join hands, or they can come together, design a survey, and call tenders for a market research company to actually do the work. For syndicated, a research company will do the work and then seek out or charges some money to the publishers. Okay, but in this case of the joint, the publishers will come together and design a survey. Of course, they will design a survey which fits in their needs. Altogether, they will come together. You say, me as Bouquet Day, I need to know this about my readers. Me as Monty, I want to know this about my readers, and so on and so on. So whereby the survey will combine all that. And after they call out for those companies, research companies who can do the survey on their research, meaning they are going to join or they are going to share the costs. Yeah, all the companies will share all those publishers are going to share the costs. Yeah, so these two talk about how best to do that. Okay, I think I left this assignment behind. Yeah, I left this assignment behind. Yeah, so I asked in groups of 5 that you discuss the ways of measuring readership, and these are average issue readership, reach coverage, or cumulative frequency. And these are the ways of measuring readership. Actually, it's readership, not leadership. It's readership. Point of correction here. It's not leadership, but readership. Okay, I know by the time we meet again for live session, you will have handed in this work. Yeah, so now let me talk about circulation. Let me talk about circulation. Previously we've been looking at the number of people reading a particular publication, but now we are interested in the number of copies of a publication distributed to the public. Distributed to the public. Okay, distributed to the public. Altogether, this is also something which is too vital, which is too important for one to research about. Of course, there's something interesting about readership, which I was to task you about how to hand and so. You circulate one newspaper and it's read by 100 people, or it's read by 10 people. Some beep. We'll look at that and how to deal with that. So circulation is the number, or is defined as the number of copies distributed to the public. This should be a simple, unambiguous measure of publication success. So if we know that maybe in last month or in last quarter, ETOP or the New Vision distributed 30,000 copies, and maybe another newspaper distributed 20,000 copies, another distributed 30,000 copies, we can be able to use that information to judge the success of a particular publication. Okay, so this circulation is often measured in terms of sales figures. It's at times measured, or it's often measured in line with sales figures. Okay, so when a publication is circulated mainly through sales, the circulation can be the number of copies sold. But even that is not simple. Some factors that complicate the counting. So here we're going to look at some factors which can complicate the counting. Remember, we said with circulation we're looking at the number of copies distributed, meaning we will count and find out how many copies were distributed. But there are some factors which will make that hard. However much it looks simpler or it seems simple, there are some factors actually which complicate it. And these are: if copies are sold through wholesalers, some copies may not reach the public. Possibly they arrived late, too late, or were spoiled. At times you may count the copies circulated from the company, like to all our wholesalers we've circulated, let's say 10,000 copies, but you may find that only 9,000 reach the public. Okay, at the time they need them. Let me add that. For some may reach late. Okay, if it's a Saturday monitor and you deliver it on Monday, some people may choose not to read it. Or if it's to be read, someone may read it at a lower price, or may buy it at a lower price. And some get spoiled. You know the things, and we are in Africa. If I'm to take an example of our country, where anything can happen. It can rain and someone, the wholesaler, forgets to clear a package in the newspapers, and you find over 100 copies getting wet and spoiled. Some may get torn on their way. Or anything can happen, surely. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And all those will affect our counting. Copies are sometimes given away. Remember, we are counting in terms of sales, but there are some which are just given away. There's some which are given away, and those will complicate our counting if we are basing on sales. So unsold copies may be returned months later, reducing a circulation figure that had been circulated earlier. Like I told you, at times we have a figure for quarters. I'll talk about the ABC. There's that company in South Africa which does some auditing for its members. I'll talk about it. and does it on a quarter basis. Yeah, but you see that even after that, yeah, you can present these saturation figures, and after some copies are returned. Yeah, so if they are returned, it means they didn't reach the intended audience. Yeah, and that will automatically affect our number, the number we earlier counted. Okay, the number we earlier counted. Many publications now have all of their content on websites. Yeah, we hope you know that we are in an era where IT is taking up most of the things. Information technology has become technology. If you want to read a book a day, you can find it on the website. Yeah, so here there's also this brings out some element of confusion. Yeah, it brings out some element of confusion altogether. What if a person visits a website more than 10 times? Okay, or if somebody reads an issue on the web, should it be counted in the saturation figures, or we should only count the hard copies? And if at all I use my computer, or more than 5 people use a particular computer, yeah, to access a certain issue, let's say twice, yeah, should that count as a saturation of 2 copies? Altogether. Yeah, so even with the coming technology, and so there's still some issues which comes in while counting. Yeah, let's think about those questions. The new vision you've read online, should it be added, or should it be counted in the saturation figures? Okay, and if your computer is used by more than one person, should all those people, or should all those numbers of views be counted? Yeah, so that complicates everything. And then we are saying saturation can vary from issue to issue with marked seasonal trends for some publication. So the average saturation over a year might be very different from the saturation for a particular issue. Yeah, that's in case we are concerned for certain issues. Yeah, your interest is in, let's say, Saturday Monitor, but then our overall figure may differ on that. Okay, may differ on that. Yeah, the term saturation in research, there's something I wanted us to note. Yeah, that can take on 2 forms. Yeah, newspapers and magazines. Okay, so we can at times have an individual as a unit of analysis, yeah, or have households as a unit of analysis. Yeah, in most cases we use individuals, like Chagulanyi is an individual, and then you have Jessica as an individual, you have Emily as an individual, you have Gloria as an individual. Yeah, so you count each of them. That's the way in case you're having individuals as a unit of analysis. So if we have 5, we count 5 copies have been saturated. But there is another way where we have the household as a unit of analysis. Yeah, so we'll be counting a proportional, or we'll be counting, let's say, newspaper, in case it's a newspaper which has reached a particular household. So we'll be counting households which receive particular newspapers. Yeah. So one may be interested in the number of households which receive a certain newspaper, or individuals. Yeah, so those are the 2 units of analysis we have while counting. You're an individual or a household. Okay. And when you say household, of course in most cases concentration will be on the household head. Yeah, it's mainly the household head who buys. Your dad comes back with a newspaper, or your dad comes back with a magazine. Yeah, he's the head of the household, so we count that as a household. So even if you are 100 people, or even if you're 7 people at home and you all read that newspaper, yeah, if we are taking a household as a unit of analysis, we'll count it once. We'll count it once. All right, we'll count it once. Now let's look at I try to pick out some figures, just to have a simple view of circulation of Uganda's major newspapers. Okay, to see which ones decline, which one circulates more or is circulated more. Okay, and the information I'm going to give or I'm going to project here is based on the Audit Bureau of Circulation of South Africa, ABC. Okay, this has members who subscribe to it, of which our New Vision, Monitor, those two media houses, among others, are subscribed to it, meaning it does some auditing of those subscribers. So this ABC presented some results about circulation, which I just want to hint on. So according to this, in Uganda, newspaper circulation figures were last presented in 2020. Their last report was in 2020, and this showed that all Ugandan publications audited by the Audit Bureau of Circulation of South Africa posted declines in circulation in the last quarter of 2019. So you may go on and find out why, or you may seek out for reasons as to why the circulation of our Ugandan publications declined in the last quarter of 2019. What could have caused that? According to this ABC Bukedde, the Uganda Language Daily is Uganda's most circulated newspaper, according to ABC. So Bukedde is Uganda's most circulated newspaper, according to ABC. Alright, meaning more copies of Bukedde reach out the public than any other. So it could be true, and I think it's true. Because it's a Uganda paper, and Uganda is one of the highest spoken language in the country. But of course, even Bukedde reported some fail in circulation or some decline in circulation. Presented by those percentages. Presented by presented by that. So even like we said, this decline cut across all our major newspapers. It cut across all our major newspapers. So you can go on and read the report by ABC. You can go on and read the report by ABC. Of course, the good thing about this report is that it helps even those who are advertising. This report by ABC, it helps those who seek to advertise with certain newspapers. So those advertisers always seek to work with those publications which are highly circulated. So this Audit Bureau of Circulation of South Africa helps out those with that information. They help out those who seek to advertise with certain publications. So if you know Bukedde is the most circulated in Uganda, then it would be wise to advertise with it, and that would mean that Bukedde would charge relatively higher price. I'm saying that would mean, but you may find that they don't charge a higher price. Maybe because they don't take on, or they are not interested in knowing that they are the most circulated newspaper. Because if they knew, maybe they would decide to charge a higher price than any other publication. Alright, thank you. Thank you.